Alright everyone, welcome to the second part of the number of paths problems in graph. As you can see here, I have created a function called graph number of paths, graph MB paths, that returns an integer, and it has a graph pointer j, and it has the starting vertex u and the target vertex v, and a Boolean array called visited. You can call it visited or marked or whatever you want, but it'll serve for the same purpose here. Alright, so we said that the first thing here is to take care of the base problem, which is if u equals v. So if u equals v, then we're just going to return 1. There's only one path from a node to itself. Otherwise, if we did not return 1, then we said that we're going to mark vertex u, so that takes true, and then do a couple of stuff, and then unmark it. So u takes false. Okay? And basically, we said that we're going to create a variable called number of paths, which will contain 0. Well, we call that variable s in the pseudocode, but here we're going to make it nb paths to make it the name to be meaningful. Cool, so we're going to call all the subproblems of u, all the functions, all the paths, all the nodes. We're going to visit all the nodes that are adjacent to u and that were not visited, that were not marked. So we're going to create an edge node pointer e, which equals to the neighbors of u. It'll take the neighbors of u, and then we're going to iterate through all of those neighbors. So while e is different to null, let's add a couple spaces there, and e of course take its next. Cool. Now for every node, if it was not marked, then we are going to visit it recursively. So if EV was not visited, then we're just gonna visit it. So basically we're going to visit it. So graph NB paths, we give it j, and we give it the vertex that we're going to visit, and the target vertex, and the visited array. And this function will return the number of paths from EV to V. So we're going to have to add that to the number of paths variable. So NB paths, we will add to it the returned value of this function call. And then finally, the only remaining thing that we're going to have to do is to return that number of paths variable. And this should do the job. Alright, now let's try this function. Let's test it out, see if it works. So here we have a graph. It's basically the same half of the graph illustrated in the previous video. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is to create the visited array. We're going to create it the same way, so that's bool visited, and its size is the graph number of nodes, and it'll be initialized with a bunch of false values. And basically visited of I will take false, and then we are going to call the graph number of paths, and we're going to give it node, the starting node, which is 0, and the target node, which is 6, and the visitor array, and this will return the number of paths. So let's print that out to the screen. So that will be inside a printf function that will print one decimal value and will return to the line, and then that decimal value would be the result of the function. So let's compile and run that, and yeah, as you can see, that's 6. That's the number of paths from vertex 0 to vertex 6. Now that's it for this video. See you next time.